I really don't have any
Okay.
statement. I mean, the game's the game, and thought we played about as well as we wanted to play, and got done a lot of things we wanted to get done. And when we have Stewie and Tuck and Mariah playing at the level that they're playing right now, it's fun to watch. So,
Questions?
looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah.
Talk about what you saw from Gabby today. So aside from the 5 turnovers,
Yeah.
not a lot of time, but nice effort around the way.
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing with Gabby is trying to get her to capitalize on her strengths, and then when she does something really well, she tends to follow it up with something really well. And when she does that again, she follows it up with something even better. And the flip side is when she does something bad, she follows it up with something worse. And then she follows that up with something even worse than that. And that's what leads to the 5 turnovers, So obviously the whole thing we're always trying to get is how do we get Gabby in that zone where when she's good, she's really, really good. And what she does, she gets a lot done in a short period of time. And that's what you want from somebody coming off the bench, and she's been really, really good at that.
Coach, after the last game, you talked about turning it up another notch when it comes to tournament time, tournament shape versus regular season shape. Talk about tournament talk that you saw today. She played one of the best games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, she played really, really well. The biggest thing about Morgan is, for the most part, she's just really an efficient player, and she doesn't need a lot of shots to get a lot of things accomplished. And she had been struggling for a while. She just couldn't get anything to go her way, and she's a very prideful person, so it started to really bother her. And saw it she started coming out of it a little bit in the South Florida game. And today she looked like her old self, and when you've got, as I said, when you got her and Stewie both playing at a pretty high level, and they play off each other so well that at this time of the year, there's not a lot of wasted motion with either of those two. We're not going to win the remaining games that we want to win unless Morgan plays great like she did today.
Did you see a big difference, Coach, from last game to this? Did you see the kind of progression you want to see?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, offensively, we were way better in the first half than we were last game than we played last Monday. But the team that we played last Monday was a little better than the team we played today. So that obviously has something to do with it. And I thought today we were able to mix it up a little bit in the first half, where we spread it around, and a lot of people touched the ball, and a lot of people got into the scoring act, and that's when we're at our best. We don't necessarily like one person dominating the ball for us. And today, that first half was everybody contributing a little bit, and that's especially tournament time. When you got 3 games in 3 days, you want everybody to feel like they're really involved as opposed to just bystanders.
Coach, first game in a tournament setting for Lou. Can you talk about what you saw out of her today? She played 29 minutes, got knocked down in 5, and got up and made 3 great plays on the road.
Yeah, she did. Lou's she's a pretty tough kid, and she's pretty competitive. And it usually comes out when she's pushed. And the more she's pushed, the more she responds. And I thought that right after that foul, she came back and made the shot that she made after that, I think, was really huge, because a lot of times if you let things linger, they just go on and cause you to have a bad first half and lose. And you can see by the way, like when we get her the ball in the lane, she's a lot tougher than she looks. And I'm expecting her to play better tomorrow and play even better Monday. She's used to big games.
In the second quarter, Coach, you kind of gave everybody a glimpse of next year's team. It's a tougher today. What did you see that you liked? How much do they have to work on?
Well, it's kind of difficult because that group that was in the second quarter, they can't possibly look like the first group. That's impossible for them to do that. And even at their best next year, they're not going to look like that first group. It's just the level of talent that you're replacing is just irreplaceable, at least on our team this year. So I thought they did what they could. I'm not crazy about when that group is in together. We try to have some of our other players in there with that group, because that group by themselves for long stretches of time is not good. They're not good. I mean, individually they're not good, and together when they don't play together and they don't communicate and they're not in sync, they're not good. And when they are, like yesterday at practice, they were really good. But today they weren't so hot. Natalie really struggled, and I think when Natalie's in the game, it's like we all want to pass her the ball for whatever reason, and we put too much emphasis on passing her the ball instead of just letting it come naturally. And so yeah, I don't think they wowed anybody. I think the other guys that were watching the game, the other coaches, were hoping that this was next year. But next year doesn't come till next year. Thank God.
Yeah. These two girls, IT and Jade, have meant the world to our basketball program, has really elevated us, and their contributions has just been amazing. And UConn's the number one team in the country, and they're an amazing basketball team. And what a great tournament, and what a great league that we participate in.
Questions?
Jay, can you just talk about your career? I think you finished with over 2,030 points or something tonight. What did that do?
Well, it's been a long road and it's been a lot of fun too. Got to thank Coach Macy for sure. She built me into the player I am today. And all of my teammates, everyone that's come and gone, they've all contributed to my success. So I just want to say thank you to all of them. And it's huge being able to leave ECU the way I have.
By the way, that was Patty Rupp from the Associated Press. Can you just talk about, coming into a game with UConn, that it's going to be a very difficult task to win. So what are you looking for, knowing this was probably going to be your final game of the year? What were the goals you guys had for each other and for the team?
Well, we go into every game just going hard, and this one especially, knowing that it was possibly our last one, but we wanted to fight for each other. So,
You guys think you accomplished that?
yes, definitely.
Any other questions?
Just always, they step it up as soon as the late goes on postseason. One of them is different than
Well, they look really crisp right now. And so knowing that when this tournament's over, they'll have another couple weeks before the NCAA start, I can imagine that they'll be playing at their best during the national tournament.
Coach, maybe talk a little bit about how last night's game, winning, and then, the kind of the success that you had in this tournament, how it can help for next year, build for next season.
Well, I even felt like that the way that the kids responded with having 7 in back-to-back nights, that we are physically prepared to do that. And I was really impressed with that. I didn't think the fatigue factor came into play as much as it probably could have. And so, a ton of credit to the kids for their toughness, but also in the science behind our preparation and a hydration standpoint. And, obviously with our athletic trainer, our strength and conditioning, coach, and they all do an incredible job getting the kids' bodies ready.
Heather, obviously you kind of dominated this conference for the first 3 years. Do you see that gap closing next year and a couple of years after DC? There's a big bunch now between 2 and 5, 2 and 6 in this conference. Do you see that the other teams rising a little bit?
Well, I think as a competitor, you've got to every single day wake up and figure out how to close the gap. And if you don't wake up every day and try to figure out creative ways to do that, then you're not much of a competitor. And so I think it drives probably every coach in this league to every single time you play them, you work to close the gap. But the gap is very, very large.